Waking up, something feels wrong.
Leo woke up with a start. He felt something was wrong. The air was different, heavy with an unsettling silence. He couldn't quite put his finger on it, but a sense of dread washed over him. He looked out the window, expecting to see the familiar sights of his village, Eldoria. But instead he was met with an empty field. His heart raced. His village, Eldoria, was gone.
Confused. Where are the houses? Where are the people? This can't be real.
Leo was scared. Panic set in as he bolted out of his house, running through the field that used to be his village. He had to find his friend, Mira. She would know what to do.
Mira, something terrible has happened. Eldoria's gone. Where are you?
Shocked. What do you mean gone, Leo? It was here last night. This doesn't make any sense.
The two friends looked around in disbelief. The place they had called home, where they had played and grown up, was now just an empty expanse of land. The bustling village they knew, with its lively market and friendly neighbours, was now an empty field. No houses, no people, no signs of life. It was as if Eldoria had been erased from existence. It was as if Eldoria had vanished into thin air. The once vibrant village was now a ghostly memory, leaving Leo and Mira standing in the middle of an inexplicable mystery. They knew they had to find out what happened, but where would they even begin? It was the day of the annual Festival of Lights. The villagers of Eldoria were celebrating. They decorated their homes with bright lanterns.
This is the best festival ever.
Leo and Mira were excited. They loved the festival. They ran around playing with their friends.
I know, right? I love seeing all the lights.
Leo was holding a bright red lantern. Mira was holding a bright blue lantern. The village was alive with joy and colour. In the centre of Eldoria stood a mysterious stone. It was called the Guardian Stone. It had been there for as long as anyone could remember. Legend said the stone protected the village.
Do you think the Guardian Stone is really magic, Leo?
I don't know, Mira, but we should be careful around it.
Leo and Mira were curious about the stone. They had often heard stories about it from the village elders, but no one knew for sure what the stone did. Leo and Mira decided to investigate the Guardian Stone. They crept towards it. As they got closer, a strange feeling washed over them. The air grew cold, and an eerie silence fell.
Whispering, what just happened?
Suddenly the ground beneath them shook violently. Blinding light erupted from the Guardian Stone. When they opened their eyes, Eldoria was gone.
Trembling, where did everyone go?
They were alone. The only sign of their village was the glowing Guardian Stone.
Leo and Mira were scared. They had never felt such fear before. The village they had known all their lives was suddenly gone, and they were left standing in an unfamiliar place. The trees seemed taller, the shadows darker, and every sound made them jump. They clung to each other, their hearts pounding in their chests.
They didn't know what to do. The paths they had walked 1,000 times now seemed foreign and twisted. Every direction looked the same, and there was no sign of the familiar landmarks they had grown up with. Panic began to set in as they realized they were truly lost. They called out for their parents, their friends, but there was no answer. The silence was deafening.
They wandered around calling for help. Their voices echoed through the empty streets, but no one responded. The village was eerily quiet, as if it had been abandoned for years. They knocked on doors, peered through windows, but found no one. Desperation began to creep in, and they felt the weight of their situation pressing down on them.
Suddenly, they saw an old man. He appeared out of nowhere, sitting calmly by the side of the road. His presence was a stark contrast to the chaos they felt inside. He seemed to radiate a sense of peace and wisdom, and they were drawn to him. He was sitting by the road. His long white beard and weathered face spoke of many years and countless stories. He held a wooden staff, which he leaned on as he watched them approach. There was a twinkle in his eye, as if he knew something they didn't.
"Excuse me," said Leo. "Can you help us? Our village has disappeared." His voice trembled with fear and hope. Mira stood beside him, clutching his arm, her eyes wide with anticipation.
The old man smiled kindly. "I know," he said. "I am a traveler. I know many things." His voice was soothing, and it seemed to calm the storm inside them. They felt a glimmer of hope as they listened to him. "Your village has been cursed." His tone grew serious, and the twinkle in his eye faded. "This is no ordinary curse. It was placed on your village many centuries ago by a powerful sorcerer who was wronged by your ancestors."
The old man explained that an ancient curse had been placed on Eldoria. The sorcerer, in his anger, vowed that every 100 years the village would vanish from sight, leaving its inhabitants lost and confused. Only those who sought the truth and showed true courage could break the curse. Every 100 years the village would vanish. It would be shrouded in a mystical fog, hidden from the world. The villagers would be transported to a place between worlds where time stood still. They would remain there, lost and forgotten, until the curse was broken. It would only reappear if the curse was broken before sunrise. The old man looked at them with a serious expression. "You have until the first light of dawn to find the key to breaking the curse. If you fail, the village will remain lost for another 100 years." The weight of his words hung heavy in the air, and Leo and Mira knew they had no time to lose. "To break the curse, you must find the Heart of Eldoria," the old man instructed. "It lies hidden within the Cavern of Echoes, a dangerous labyrinth guarded by many trials."
We were scared, but we had to save our village.
Yeah, we couldn't let fear stop us. We thanked the old man and set off towards the mountains, where the Cavern of Echoes was said to be hidden.
The entrance to the cavern was dark and uninviting. As they ventured deeper, the path became treacherous, filled with riddles and obstacles. Inside the Cavern of Echoes, Leo and Mira faced their fears. The air was thick with tension, and the only sounds were the echoes of their footsteps and the distant dripping of water. The darkness seemed to press in on them from all sides, but they pressed on, driven by a shared determination to uncover the secrets hidden within. They solved riddles together, each using their strengths. Leo's quick thinking and Mira's keen observation skills complemented each other perfectly. They encountered ancient puzzles that required both intellect and intuition, and together they deciphered the cryptic messages left by those who had come before them. Leo was quick-witted, while Mira was observant. Leo's mind raced with possibilities, always looking for the next clue, while Mira's eyes scanned their surroundings, noticing details that others might overlook. Their synergy was undeniable, and it was this partnership that allowed them to progress deeper into the cavern. They helped each other across treacherous ravines and outsmarted tricky illusions. The path was fraught with danger, from narrow ledges that crumbled underfoot to deceptive mirages that led them astray. But with Leo's agility and Mira's caution, they navigated these hazards with a blend of bravery and wisdom. Each challenge brought them closer to the heart of the labyrinth. The deeper they ventured, the more complex the trials became. They faced shifting walls, hidden traps, and puzzles that tested their resolve. Yet, with each victory, they felt the pull of the Heart of Eldoria growing stronger, guiding them forward.
Finally, after what felt like an eternity, we reached a vast chamber. The air was different here, charged with a palpable energy. The walls of the chamber were adorned with ancient carvings, telling the story of the Heart of Eldoria and the many who had sought it. It was a place of both wonder and reverence.
In the center, bathed in a warm light, floated a beautiful crystal, the Heart of Eldoria. Its glow was mesmerizing, casting a soft, ethereal light that filled the chamber. The crystal seemed to pulse with life, as if it were a living entity, aware of their presence and their journey.
They stood in awe before the large, glowing crystal that floated in mid-air. It was a moment of triumph and realization, the culmination of their efforts and the fulfillment of their quest. The Heart of Eldoria was more than just a treasure. It was a symbol of their courage, their partnership, and the mysteries of the world they had yet to uncover. The chamber around them filled with sparkling dust, creating a magical ambience that seemed to celebrate their achievement. The dust danced in the light of the crystal, creating patterns that were both beautiful and enigmatic. It was a sight that would stay with them forever, a reminder of the adventure they had shared and the bond they had forged. Leo and Mira returned to the Guardian Stone. They held the Heart of Eldoria, which pulsed with a warm light. They placed the heart at the base of the stone. The stone began to glow, bathing the empty space in a blinding light.
When the light faded, Eldoria was back!
The villagers were confused but happy to be home. Leo and Mira told everyone about their adventure. The villagers cheered for them. They were heroes. Life in Eldoria returned to normal, but Leo and Mira never forgot their adventure. They had faced their fears and saved their village. They had learned the power of courage and friendship.
We also learned that some mysteries are best left unsolved.
The Guardian Stone remained a silent protector at the heart of their village, and they never spoke of the curse again.
And so, with the golden light of the setting sun, they looked towards the horizon knowing their village was safe.